Two of my Amazon seller accounts just got crushed by FBA Restock limits. I lost the ability to send in any new products for about 2 months, and without being able to ship, two of my FBA businesses essentially ground to a halt. I know that there are many other Amazon sellers dealing with similar issues caused by these new restock limits, so I decided to come back to YouTube to hit you guys with some Amazon fire. In this video, I am going to show you how I was able to get our restock limits under control, regain the ability to ship products back into FBA, and then do so in a way that allowed us to grow our restock limit week over week and ultimately have the ability to ship more products. So what is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry, aka Watch Me Amazon, and today we're talking about restock limits. If you're new to selling on Amazon, restock limits are basically Amazon limiting the number of products that a seller can ship to FBA. There have always been restock limits in one form or another, but for the most part, it was never really something that us sellers had to worry about. It always felt like pretty much you can ship in as much inventory as you wanted, which is great if you're trying to build an FBA business. Unfortunately, though, over the last 18 months, something has changed and Amazon has gotten extremely tight with FBA restock limits. So what exactly happened? Anybody out there know what it was? I'm sure a lot of you do, but for those of you that do not, it was the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, in general, e-commerce has been growing incredibly fast year over year. But when the pandemic happened, we saw almost 10 years worth of growth in 18 months. When all the stores closed, you had a giant rush into e-commerce. Brands, business owners, retailers, everyone and their mother started flooding products into the market, and Amazon could not keep up. Add to that, it's a pandemic. Warehouses are closed, people are sick, Amazon is short-staffed, and it created this perfect shitstorm that we sellers find ourselves in now. So right around April 2021, after a solid year of toying around with different inventory limits and restrictions, we think Amazon decided to change the way they handle FBA products. The old way would be that you can send in 4 to 6 months worth of inventory to Amazon, and they would just act like your warehouse and hold it for you. But now Amazon has limited space. They no longer want you to send in 6 months worth of products because they don't have room for every seller to send in 6 months worth of products. So Amazon decided basically that they don't want to be in the warehouse business. They don't want to be in the product storage business. Instead, they want to be in the product shipping business. They want sellers to send in products that they can pretty much receive and then ship out right away. And if you can do that, they'll hold 30 days worth of stock for each product. Not 6 months, not 4 months, but roughly 30 days. So the goal is, if you can send in 30 days worth of stock coverage, and just before it sells out, you send in another 30 days worth, then another 30 days worth, instead of just sending in 6 months worth right away, that's how you are going to find the sweet spot. So coming up next, I am going to tell you in exact detail how to get more storage room if you are starting to run out. If you're over the limit, I'll show you how to fix that too. But first, I wanted to share with you guys just how strongly these new restock limits are affecting Amazon sellers. So as some of you may know, I have multiple Amazon businesses and accounts. One morning, I come to one of my warehouses and I notice that two of my accounts completely crushed by restock limits. One account where we have 60,000 units of inventory at FBA now has a restock limit of 30,000. Another account where we have 25,000 units now has a new limit of 12,000. So we are over the limit on both of these accounts by more than double. And keep in mind, these are semi-established businesses. They're maybe a year or two old. They have workers. We're shipping products to Amazon every single week consistently, which is what you want to do to scale an FBA business. And now we're completely stuck. Can't create shipments. Workers have nothing to do. We have to either pay them to sit around and do nothing, or God forbid, let them go. And any momentum you have in growing your business, now gone. Now you just have to sit around and wait to sell off 30,000 plus units before you can even think of shipping again. So really a shitty situation. Now, thank God in my scenario, I had multiple selling accounts and different sources of income, but for many sellers out there, that is simply not the case. So I am super excited I get to be here making this video right now, because I am about to break down exactly what you should be doing if any of what I just mentioned sounds familiar to you. And as a matter of fact, you should probably be doing this stuff anyway, because frankly, this is going to be the new way to operate an FBA business going forward. So let's dive in. If you have restock issues, you're probably in one of these two boats. You're either over the limit and you can't create any shipments, or you're still under the limit, but it's getting tight and you can't ship out as much inventory as you'd like. So let's start with what to do if you are over the limit. Well, the first thing you can do is ask Amazon for an increase. Simple enough. You can do this by opening up a case in Seller Central. If you have an account rep, you can ask them to help you with this as well. But chances are, if you are watching this video, you already tried that and it probably did not work. While it is possible to get an increase from Amazon, it is extremely rare. And one thing that you should know is it is very hard to grow your restock limit while being over the restock limit. It's important to actually get down below the limit before you can start working on growing and improving the limit. Now, you can get under the limit in one of two ways. You can either just straight up wait for your inventory to sell through and for you to be under the limit organically, or you can take some proactive measures to liquidate stale inventory and get under that limit faster. Now, for us, we were averaging probably, 400 or 500 sales a day. So it would have taken 2.5 months to move through 30,000 units. So waiting wasn't really a good option. We had to do something to move things along a bit quicker. So I am going to give you guys a list of 10 things that you can do right now to get your account under the limit ASAP. Here's what we did. Step number 1 is purge your account of any rogue inventory. Rogue inventory are units that are taking up space in your restock limits, but are not actually being shipped to Amazon. The best example of this would be if you have any shipments that you created in Seller Central that you never actually shipped, like maybe a test shipment you created. Those units are actually counted as units in your inventory and are taking up space. When Amazon counts your units, they're not just counting the units that you have at the fulfillment center, they're also counting any units that you have in open shipments. So if you have any open shipments that you don't intend to ship, now would be a great time to delete them. Step number 2 is to look through your FBA inventory and check out your unfulfillable products. This is where all your damaged, returns, and expired items go. You can sort this column in Seller Central, and if you have units there, they are counted against your inventory, so now would be a good time to dispose or remove them. Step number 3 is fix your stranded inventory. This is a page where Amazon shows you your products that are stranded at FBA with no existing listings. These are items that have been blocked, removed, unlisted, need to be updated, and surprisingly, there could be a lot of them. The good thing is, Amazon lets you fix items right on the page, so anything that could be fixed, fix it, and get it selling again. And everything else now would be a pretty good time to dispose or remove of. All right, now the next thing you gotta do is you have to go through your entire inventory and basically figure out how to get rid of any old or stale products. Any items you have that are not selling well, not selling at all, any items where you have over 90 days worth of stock, now would be the right time to fire sell it and figure out how to get that inventory moving. And one of the ways you can do that is through the inventory planning dashboard. Here you have a variety of tools that you can use to move and improve your inventory. But one special metric to pay very close attention to is the days in inventory count. This is basically how many days worth of stock you have at FBA, and it is a super important metric. Lots of people believe that the restock limits are somehow tied to your IPI score. In reality, they are not. A much better thing to look at is how many days of inventory you have. If you are over the limit, chances are you probably have much more than just 30 days worth of stock. This is the key metric that you should be looking at in addressing restock limits. You want to get this number down to at or around 30 days worth of coverage, and you want to keep it there. You want to run your business going forward keeping roughly 30 days worth of stock at Amazon and replenishing little by little instead of just sending 4 months worth right away and killing the days in inventory metric completely. All right, so step number 4 in the inventory planner is to examine your FBA inventory age. This is a report that shows you how long your units have been at FBA without getting a sale. Filter and look at every single unit you have that is older than 90 days and figure out how to get rid of it or make it sell faster. You can do that by lowering the price, running some ads, creating a sale, or if you want, removing or disposing of some particular products. Step number 5, also in the inventory planner, is managing your excess inventory. Again, this is a page where Amazon will show you different products at FBA that have an excess amount of stock. So you may have an item that has 60 units at FBA, but you're only selling, 6 units a month. So Amazon considers this to be an item that has 10 months worth of coverage. Review these items and again, adjust prices, run ads, create sales, make removal orders, or just wait it out. Those are going to be your options here. Now, step number 6, I am going to do using my repricer. And what I am going to do is I am going to filter all of my products that are currently selling at their minimum price. And then I am going to review them, evaluate them, and make any price adjustments as needed. So you guys may have a bunch of products that are trading at their minimum price, and there might have been other sellers who have come in and undercut you by 50 cents. And now because you're at your floor, your minimum, you're out of the buy box rotation and you aren't getting any sales. So I would do a deep dive here, review every single buy box scenario on all of your products that are at their minimums. And if you have to lower your minimum price to where you're, only making $1 or just breaking even, or even if you have to lower that minimum price to where you're taking a small loss on a product, now is the right time to do so and get those products selling. Step number 7, using my repricer again, I am going to do the opposite of what we just did. I am going to sort my products to examine only the ones that are trading at my maximum set price. Now, the reason I want to do that, guys, is because we can have products that are selling at the max price. They're making a huge profit on paper, but because the price is so high, maybe we have products that are ranked really poorly or not selling well at all because they are not optimally priced. So here I will examine all of these products and any products that are at the maximum, but not selling as well as I would like. I'm going to adjust the maximum price down a little bit in an effort to get these products selling quicker. And pro tip, guys, if you have a product that is making a $10 profit at your max price, but the rank stinks, don't be afraid to lower that maximum price. It's better to sell, 1,000 units a year at an $8 profit than it is to sell 200 units at a $12 profit. So review those max products and anything that is not selling well or poorly ranked, evaluate and consider revising those pricing profiles. And by the way, if you don't use a repricer, you can do all of this stuff manually. Just go through your products at FBA, sort the ones that are in stock, and examine the buy box scenario of each and make your pricing adjustments as needed. Step number 8, also with my repricer, but you can do this manually or with an inventory software as well. But basically, I am going to look at all of my in-stock SKUs and I am going to compare how many units I have in stock versus how many units I sold in the last 30 days. And what I'm looking for is, if you have an item where, say, I have 200 units in stock, but we only sold 20 units in the last month, that can be a problem because it would take me 10 months to sell those 200 units. So I am going to reevaluate listings like that to see if there is anything we can do to improve them. Step number 9, and this is not something that I would recommend for everyone, guys. It's kind of like a worst case scenario. But if you are in a position where you have listings and you're not willing to lower the price and you have lots of units, one thing you could consider to do is a strategic removal order. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you have 10 months worth of stock at a product at FBA. You can do a removal order for 8 months worth of inventory, instantly improve your numbers, still have stock to sell, and when it starts to run out, you can then ship the right amount back to Amazon little by little. And lastly, step number 10. If you have items that are just not selling, regardless what you tried, they're not good items, you don't plan on reordering them, now would be the absolute best time to just cut your losses and get rid of them. They do not serve you well, killing your metrics, costing you storage fees. So bite the bullet, man up, dispose or remove. Now would be the right time. So those are the 10 steps that you can take right now to improve your sales and get under that restock limit faster. And at this point, once you've optimized everything, there might be a little bit of a waiting period as your units start to come down and sell off. But remember, you need to get under that limit first before you can start working on growing that number up. So guys, that is phase 1. That is how you are going to get under the restock limit in the quickest possible way. And now for phase 2, I am going to teach you how to improve that restock limit so that you could continue to grow your FBA business and have plenty of room for all of those products that you want to send in. So what it all comes down to, guys, is proper replenishment tactics. Going forward, at least for the time being, the way us resellers used to send inventory to FBA is going to have to change. The way I used to do it was, when it was time to replenish a product, I would order my 3 to 6 months worth of stock from a supplier and send the whole thing to FBA all at once. Can't do that anymore. Instead, we need to drip feed our products into Amazon little by little, 30 days at a clip. And what that looks like is, I'm still going to buy the same 3 to 6 months worth of stock that I normally do. I'm just not going to send it in all at once. So I'll buy 90 days worth, ship 30 days worth, and then I'm going to leave 60 days worth of stock behind me in my warehouse, ready and waiting, where I can then super quickly replenish it as needed. So that is like the overall strategy change going forward. You're going to have to learn to adapt from sending in 4 months at a clip to sending in 4 weeks at a clip. Here's the other thing that you're going to need to do. When you get under that limit, you're probably going to be in a position where you have some room to ship. You just don't have enough room to send in everything that you'd like. So for example, let's say you have 2,000 units of available space that Amazon will let you ship in. But when you look through your products, you have 6,000 units that you need to ship in. Obviously, you can't ship everything. So it is in these kinds of scenarios that you have to be super strategic with what products you choose to send in. You cannot just randomly pick 2,000 from your 6,000 to send in. You have to be ultra smart about it. So when you have that little opening, here's how you take advantage of it. Every time you replenish, you are going to make a list of every single SKU that you need to send in regardless the limits. And again, you can do this manually or with the software, but make a list of every single SKU that you need to send in. Next, you are going to sort that list by rank from best to worst. Then you are going to start adding those items into a shipment one by one, starting from the absolute best-selling item on that list and then working your way down. You are going to add exactly 1 month worth of units for every item, again, starting from the best, starting from the number one item down that list, and you are going to continue to do this by rank till you run out of room. So again, let's say you have 6,000 units total to replenish and only room for 2,000. You are going to sort that list of 6,000 by rank, and if that very first best-selling item sells 500 units a month, then you are going to add those 500 units to your shipment. Then, going down the list, if the second best ranked item sells 100 units a month, that's what you are going to add to your shipment. And you are going to continue to do that until you fill up that 2,000 unit limit. Now, what that is going to do is that is going to make sure that whatever limit you have, you are sending in your top, very best-selling items. And then next week, when it's time to replenish again, you make another list of everything that you need to send in, you sort it by rank, and then you fill up whatever limit that you have with 30 days worth of your very best ranked items. If you continue to do this week after week, Amazon is going to see that you're only sending in the right amount of units. They're going to see that every single shipment you've been sending in is selling through incredibly quickly because, again, we're only sending in the best ranked stuff. And week by week, little by little, they will start to increase your capacity. When they increase it, same thing. Make your list, sort the list by rank, and then optimize your space. If you do this after a while and following the methods that I laid out here, you should eventually have unlimited space to grow your business and to send in as many SKUs as you want, so long as you are sending them in the appropriate quantities of each. So there you have it, guys. That is how you work around and grow Amazon restock limits. And by the way, we followed my two businesses, all my businesses, we followed these steps exactly. My two frozen accounts, first we optimized, we got everything selling properly. Then after a few weeks of downtime, when some space opened up, we started working the system. And now we're getting increases every week, and we're back to being able to ship all of our SKUs to Amazon, just as I said, trying to stick to that 30 days of coverage roadmap. So guys, if you enjoyed this video or you got any value from it, the biggest compliment that you can do for me is to share this video with someone who needs to see it. Also, leave a comment, subscribe, smash the like button. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic and on this video. And lastly, I want to end the video on this note. In my opinion, the definition of becoming a successful Amazon seller is being able to adapt and deal with various issues like this. Make no mistake about it. These new restock limits and this new way of doing FBA, they are going to fuck some people up. Many sellers are not going to be able to adapt. I'd like to think that you will, thanks in some small part to videos like this, but others will not. And then we will have a thinning out of the herd, a thinning out of the competition. But it is the sellers that figure shit out, that try new things, that adapt. Those are going to be the ones that make it and ultimately become successful Amazon sellers. So if you are watching this video and taking steps to figure this shit out, then congratulations, because I am confident that you are well on your way to becoming a successful FBA seller. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Leave a comment. Tell me what you'd like to see, and peace.